A fuel depot was set on fire near a crucial bridge linking Russia's mainland with Crimea. The incident comes days after a drone strike in which a Russian fuel storage facility was set ablaze. The incident happened in the Crimean port of Sevastopol. Moscow blamed Ukraine for the attack. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has told a news publication that the White House did not inform him about a leak of secret US documents. Zelensky said, and I quote, "It is not beneficial to the reputation of the White House and the United States." The leaked documents contained information on the war in Ukraine. Ukraine's defense minister has said that the documents contained a mix of true and false information about the country's military. Clashes continue in Sudan's capital, Khartoum. This is happening despite the warring factions agreeing to hold a 7-day ceasefire. The latest ceasefire has been mediated by South Sudan. The clashes broke out on April 15th between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group. So far, at least 500 people have been killed and close to 5,000 people have been injured. Uganda's parliament has passed one of the strictest anti-LGBTQ+ bills. The new bill upholds harsh punishments, including long jail terms and the death penalty. The government used the term aggravated homosexuality to describe actions like having gay sex when HIV positive. President Yoweri Museveni is a vocal opponent of LGBTQ+ rights. Anti-government protests have resumed in the East African country of Kenya. Kenyan police fired tear gas at a group of protesters. In March, protests broke out against the high cost of living and alleged election fraud. Violent clashes broke out between the police and demonstrators. Opposition leader Raila Odinga suspended the demonstrations in early April after agreeing to hold talks with President William Ruto. But he later announced that protests will continue as the government was not negotiating in good faith. US Vice President Kamala Harris met Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Marcos Jr. told reporters that he was just as concerned about China's actions in the South China Sea as the US. The United States and the Philippines reaffirmed their decades-old security alliance. This comes amid China's increasingly aggressive actions near Taiwan and the South China Sea. A man suspected of killing 5 people in the US state of Texas has been arrested after a 4-day-long manhunt. The man was identified as a 38-year-old Francesco Oropesa. He's a Mexican national and had been deported from the US 4 times since 2009. He's suspected of killing 5 people on April 28th. All 5 victims were from the Central American nation of Honduras. Also in the US, former Minneapolis police officer Tu Thao has been found guilty for aiding and abetting the killing of George Floyd. In 2020, Floyd was killed after a white police officer pressed his knee on Floyd's neck for close to 9 minutes. Thao was one of the 4 officers involved in the incident. It sparked massive Black Lives Matter protests across the world. Chinese Foreign Minister Qin Gang met Myanmar's junta chief Min Aung Hlaing in the capital Naypyidaw. The meeting aimed to strengthen the bilateral relations between the 2 countries. They discussed how to boost stability, development, trade, and energy cooperation. Myanmar has been in a state of crisis since the military staged a coup in February 2021. The Myanmar junta has pardoned over 2,000 political prisoners. Ever since the military staged the coup in February 2021, it arrested thousands of protesters and activists. At least 170 journalists have also been under arrest since the coup. The leader of Myanmar's democratically elected party, Aung San Suu Kyi, has also been under arrest. More than 3,000 people have been killed in clashes that broke out after the military takeover. Paraguay's president-elect, Santiago Peña, has said that the election result announced by the country's electoral institution should be respected. This comes after supporters of an opposition leader took to the streets to protest against the election results. Peña won the election with 43% of the vote. Runners-up Efrain Alegre and Paraguayo Cubas have called for the votes to be recounted. Many migrants are stranded on the border between Peru and Chile. They've been trying to cross to the Peruvian side but remained unsuccessful. Some migrants blocked the highway connecting the two countries. These migrants have been stranded in the border area for 19 days now. It's located in the Atacama Desert, one of the most arid areas on the planet. Migrants have been facing scorching heat during the day and intense cold at night. Police in Serbia has arrested a 7th grade student after he shot and killed 9 people, including a security guard. Authorities have cordoned off the area. The police is investigating the motive behind the shooting. Mass shootings are rare in Serbia as it has strict gun control laws. The US administration has announced that it will temporarily send 1,500 troops to help secure the US-Mexico border. This comes at a time when a huge surge of migrants is expected this month. The rules at the border are being tightened when the Trump-era COVID-19 restrictions are going to end on May 11th. The policy allowed US authorities to expel non-Mexican migrants to Mexico without giving them a chance to seek asylum. A police officer narrowly escaped a high-speed car crash. The incident happened in the US state of Virginia. Dashcam footage shows a sports car losing control on the opposing lane and almost hitting the police officer. The officer sustained minor injuries. The driver of the sports car was a juvenile and has been charged for reckless driving. The US state of Illinois is facing floods due to rising water levels in the Mississippi River. A drone video showed flooded homes, properties, and roads. The water in the Mississippi River is rising due to melting snow. Major snowstorms brought snow and hail to the western parts of the US over the winter. A 5.2 magnitude earthquake had hit a city in China's Yunnan province. The epicenter of the earthquake was located 29 kilometers away. Another 4.4 magnitude earthquake occurred around 11 minutes after the first tremor. A 600-member team, along with 137 vehicles and 30 dogs, was deployed as part of a rescue plan. However, no deaths or injuries have been reported. 21 endangered sea turtles have been seized from a poacher in Indonesia's Bali. The sea turtles are currently being looked after by a local conservation center and will soon be released into the wild. This comes after authorities received multiple reports on the suspected illegal trade of turtle meat for consumption. The World Food Programme chief, Cindy McCain, visited drought-affected areas in Somalia. She pointed out that there's still a risk of famine in the country. UN officials have said that deaths from hunger are increasing in Africa because of droughts worsened by climate change and conflict. UN analysts say that there's a death by starvation every 36 seconds on average in Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia. The president of COP28 has said that the next UN Climate Summit will focus on health issues caused by climate change. This will be the first summit to highlight the consequences of climate change on people's well-being. The summit will be held in Dubai in November this year. At COP28, countries will aim to formally assess progress in their climate goals, which were set in Paris in 2015. The White House will reportedly host the chief executive officers of artificial intelligence technology firms. The CEOs of firms like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI will attend the meeting. US Vice President Kamala Harris and other officials will discuss key issues related to AI tools. The issues will encompass concerns related to privacy, biases, and misinformation. Artificial intelligence pioneer Geoffrey Hinton has said that he quit Google to freely speak about the dangers of AI tools. Hinton says he realized that computers could become smarter than people. This could happen far sooner than he and other experts had initially predicted. Hinton becomes the latest figure to raise an alarm against the widespread craze that AI tools like ChatGPT have attracted. A report by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has made shocking revelations about social media companies. It showed that reports of child exploitation increased at major tech and social media firms over the last year. The US Child Safety Agency received over 30 million reports involving child sexual abuse material. This was nearly 3 million more than complaints the year before. NCMEC is a US-based non-profit organization. Google and Apple are reportedly working together to limit unwanted tracking of users. They're targeting the unwanted tracking by Bluetooth devices such as AirTags. The companies have submitted a draft proposal. The proposal says that all Bluetooth location tracking devices must alert users of any unauthorized tracking. This will be carried out across all iOS and Android devices. Apple has urged a London tribunal to block a $2 billion lawsuit against the company. The lawsuit accuses Apple of hiding defective batteries in millions of iPhones. The iPhone maker allegedly throttled phones with these batteries with multiple software updates. Apple has called the allegations baseless. Former Audi boss Rupert Stadler will plead guilty over the Dieselgate scandal. His confession comes in exchange for a suspended sentence and a payment of $1.2 million. The Dieselgate scandal involved Audi's parent Volkswagen rigging the emission levels in 11 million diesel vehicles. This made the vehicles appear less polluting in lab tests than they were on the road. Canadian Competition Bureau is seeking information on Royal Bank of Canada's takeover of HSBC's Canada business. The deal is reportedly worth $13.5 billion. If this goes through, it'll be the biggest acquisition for RBC. A deal of this size was last attempted by RBC in 1990. It was when the Canadian bank wanted to acquire its rival, the Bank of Montreal. The low-budget Indian airline Go First has filed for bankruptcy. It has blamed its engine maker, Pratt & Whitney, for faulty products. The airline has said that these faulty engines led to the grounding of about half its fleet. In 2022, Go First lost more than $1 billion in revenue due to its fleet getting grounded. Wells Fargo CEO Charlie Scharf has said that he sees the banking industry to be extremely strong. However, he added that he expects volatility in the industry to persist. His comments come shortly after the failure of the third US regional bank in recent months. He has said that he does not expect more bank failures comparable to the recent collapses. Crypto exchange Coinbase Global has launched an international exchange for cryptocurrency derivatives. The exchange will let users in eligible jurisdictions outside the US trade in crypto assets. Coinbase is looking to expand its global footprint in the crypto industry. This comes amid flaring tensions between the crypto sector and US regulators. Moving on to sports, Sunrisers Hyderabad will take on Kolkata Knight Riders at Hyderabad's Rajiv Gandhi International Stadium on Thursday. SRH are currently 9th with 6 points in 8 games. Meanwhile, KKR are just above them with 6 points, but with 9 games played. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. IST tomorrow. The India Under-17 men's team is set to face Real Madrid Under-17s in Madrid late Wednesday. The much-anticipated encounter will be their 4th preparatory game in Spain as part of AFC Asian Cup. The Blue Cubs have played 3 preparatory matches against Atletico de Madrid Under-17s, CD Legans Under-18s and Atletico Madrileno till now. The AFC Under-17 Asian Cup is set to be held in Thailand in June 2023. Tokyo Olympian Ashish Chaudhary has progressed into the 80 kg pre-quarterfinals at the IBA Men's World Boxing Championships 2023. Chaudhary defeated Iran's Maysam Gheshlaghi in the previous round. He claimed a solid 4-1 victory over the 2021 Asian champion silver medalist. Chaudhary will now face Cuba's 2-time Olympic champion Arlen Lopez in the round of 16 bout. Viacom 18 has announced that it has secured new telecast rights to exclusively live stream MotoGP on Jio Cinema and Sports 18 in India. India will mark its historic debut on the MotoGP calendar on 24th of September. The coverage for this season will tip off with the Gran Premio de Portugal. Viacom 18 will also provide a complete live presentation of the MotoGP, including practice sessions on Friday and Saturday. In football, Arsenal ended a 4-game winless run by dismantling a listless Chelsea 3-1 on Tuesday. The Gunners have temporarily returned to the top of the Premier League standings with the win. Chelsea is languishing in 12th place under its 3rd manager of the season, Frank Lampard. After the dismal loss, Lampard is set to leave the side at the end of the club's disastrous 2022-23 campaign. Liverpool's manager Jurgen Klopp says he expects to be punished for his behaviour on the touchline during Sunday's 4-3 win over Tottenham Hotspur. Klopp is also expecting to be pulled up for his post-match comments on referee Paul Tierney. He was handed a yellow card for celebrating a 94th minute winner by running towards the 4th official John Brooks at Anfield. After the game, Klopp also accused referee Paul Tierney of having something against Liverpool. Barcelona director of football Matteo Alemany will depart the club on June 30th to pursue a new professional project. Alemany has held the role at Barcelona since March 2021. The 60-year-old's contract with Barcelona was set to run until 2024, but he has decided to leave early and pursue a new opportunity. The club will announce their new executive structure following Alemany's departure. Boxing legend Manny Pacquiao has lost a civil lawsuit in the US as a jury sided with Paradigm Sports Management over a contract dispute. The jury found that Manny Pacquiao violated his contract with Paradigm Sports Management. He has been ordered to pay $5.1 million to the sports management firm. It is also ruled that Pacquiao pay back the $3.3 million he received as an advance. Paris Saint-Germain forward Lionel Messi will not have his contract renewed at the club. The development comes following an unauthorized trip to Saudi Arabia by the Argentine football great. The 35-year-old was suspended for 2 weeks on Tuesday. He's banned from playing or training with PSG, and his pay will be docked during his suspension. Ratings agency Nielsen has revealed that this year's Super Bowl was the most watched National Football League championship game in history. Around 115.1 million people watched the Kansas City Chiefs come from behind to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the Feb 12 match. The ratings agency had previously announced that the game had an average viewership of 113 million. On to entertainment. The Backstreet Boys have arrived in India for their blockbuster DNA World Tour. The iconic pop band will play at Mumbai's Geo World Gardens on May 4th and New Delhi's Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium on May 5th. The legendary boy band is returning to India after 13 long years. The tour comes on the back of the boy band's 10th studio album, DNA. Disney Plus has released a freshly edited Iron Man trailer honoring the trilogy. The 2023 trailer commemorates the 15th anniversary of the first Iron Man movie and the dawn of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Robert Downey's Tony Stark was the face that launched a franchise. Iron Man served as Marvel Studios' very first project back in 2008. Ed Sheeran's new docu-series reveals a private side he supposedly never thought he'd share. The 4-part series, The Sum of It All, documents his personal life and struggles. Sheeran celebrated the release of his new docu-series in New York on Tuesday. He said that the series is not a propaganda piece and hopes people will connect to it. Trevor Noah is set to executive produce a US version of Mock the Week. The 39-year-old comedian has agreed to become an executive producer of the satirical panel show, which aired in the UK back in 2005. A host for the show is set to be announced at a later date, and production will begin later this year. Trevor hosted The Daily Show for 7 years after replacing Jon Stewart in the role. American heavy metal band Lamb of God will be hitting the road this summer for their exclusive 2023 headline tour. The 8-city tour kicks off on August 10th at the Wellmont in Montclair. It'll then be making stops across the US in St. Louis, Oklahoma, Las Vegas, and Riverside, among other cities. The tour will also feature special guests Ice Nine Kills, Suicide Silence, The Acacia Strain, Frozen Soul, and more, across select dates. Golf pro Tiger Woods is expanding his experimental putting concept, PopStroke, this year. PopStroke Entertainment Group has announced plans to add 4 locations in 2023 and begin construction on more venues with opening dates in 2024. Founded in 2019, PopStroke offers a technology-infused golf entertainment experience. It features 2 18-hole putting facilities, a full-service restaurant and bar. Gordon Lightfoot, the folk singer-songwriter known for If You Could Read My Mind and Sundown, has died aged 84. During his illustrious career spanning decades, Lightfoot recorded 20 studio albums and penned hundreds of songs. During his career, Lightfoot collected 12 Juno Awards, including one in 1970 when it was called the Gold Leaf. Actor Eileen Sack, known for her role Rosie on the TV show MASH, has died aged 79. The actor breathed her last in Los Angeles after an elongated battle with pancreatic cancer. She most recently appeared in an Uber Eats commercial in 2022. Sack survived lung cancer in 2004 and returned to her passion for entertainment. Thousands of American film and television writers headed to picket lines on Tuesday for their first work stoppage in 15 years. Striking writers picketed in front of Netflix in Los Angeles, chanting phrases like, "Whose stories are stories?" and "On a strike, shut 'em down, LA is a union town." The rise of streaming has eroded television ad revenue as traditional TV audiences shrink. Chance the Rapper has opened up about his past drug use. He's told media that he could have died from drugs. The Chicago rapper was reflecting on his Billboard charting 2013 mixtape Acid Rap and his drug use during that time. Chance the Rapper is celebrating the 10th anniversary of the release of Acid Rap, which is arguably his best project.